Democrat opposition.
Wow, a crutch, the STEP program. Mr. Speaker, I have here a campaign advertisement for the Progressive Conservative Party in the last election. Headline, no new taxes, no service cuts. And it contains a pledge by the Premier, signed by the Premier, that there will be no service cuts. My question is to the Premier. Now that she's broken her promise not to cut the services that Alberta families depend on, will she admit that the whole PC re-election campaign was a desperate and cynical attempt to mislead Albertans in order to cling to power?
Honourable member, please be careful where we go. You know it's against the rules to raise questions about political parties and political fundraising, so we'll listen carefully. Meanwhile, Honourable Premier, I invite you to answer.
Well, Mr. Speaker, not as desperate and cynical as that question was, but nonetheless. Mr. Speaker, there is no doubt that we had to make tough choices in this budget, and Mr. Speaker, with 100,000 new people coming to this province, we were able to keep spending to 0%, Mr. Speaker. We were able to ensure that we did not make cross-the-board cuts, that we did not raise taxes, that we invested in a savings plan, Mr. Speaker, that we protected vulnerable people, and we continued to build this province. Now, Mr. Speaker, that is a record that we are proud of. It's a commitment we made to Albertans, and we're glad to be able to keep it.
I suppose closing the Michener Centre was taking away a crutch as well. Mr. Speaker, I have in my hand the NDP top 10 list of broken promises contained in this budget. And given that this Premier insisted on Friday that she did not break her promises to the Albertans that voted for her, and given that we, the New Democrats, could easily come up with 10 significant broken promises from this Premier, can she explain to Albertans how this PC government did not betray their trust?
Mr. Speaker, it's been pretty wonderful this weekend to be able to speak to people throughout southern Alberta, through Calgary and Edmonton, about the budget on Thursday, Mr. Speaker. And what was really interesting to me was the fact that a lot of people said, look, we know the times changed, but you kept your word. You made tough choices. We knew you were going to make tough choices, but as we promised, Mr. Speaker, we did it in a thoughtful way and a responsible manner. And I'd like to ask the Minister of Services for People with Developmental Disabilities to supplement with respect to the Michener Centre, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, if the honourable member had taken the time to read the budget, he would notice that we have an increase in the...
Honourable member, perhaps in the next supplemental you'll have that chance. Meanwhile, the time has run out, and we go on to the third question from the Leader.
Mr. Speaker, it's amazing to me how the Premier can break almost every promise she made and stand in this House and say that she kept her trust with Albertans. Albertans just can't trust this PC government to stand up to protect the services they need. Given that the Premier's government is gutting our post-secondary institutions and denying schools the stable, predictable funding they were promised, will the Premier do the right thing and keep one promise, which was to make sure that we have adequate revenues to pay for the programs we need? Why do you refuse to do that?
Mr. Speaker, if we take a look at the state of the world this month, compared to the state of the world 6 months ago, Mr. Speaker, what we see is that Albertans said to us, continue to move forward on a path for success. Continue to build this province. Ensure that you are providing services to vulnerable people. Ensure that you are building schools. Ensure that you're supporting the public sector, Mr. Speaker, and make sure that you're being responsible with taxpayer dollars. Now, Mr. Speaker, that's a tall order, but we, in the past 6 months, Mr. Speaker, have been able to keep those commitments, which is a fine distinction, Mr. Speaker, from anyone on the opposition side who comes up with theoretical documents that are meaningless.